We all think, oh, it's just a part of getting older. Have you ever seen a slight change in your body or in someone you love and told yourself, oh, it's just a part of getting older? We notice a slight decrease in appetite and an increase in fatigue, which we accept as a typical phase of a long life. But what if I told you that ignoring those small changes can be the beginning of a silent tragedy? Our bodies frequently offer very obvious, very mild indications when a last chapter is approaching, according to a devastating trend observed by doctors who work with families like yours. The fact that these signals are frequently misinterpreted is the real nightmare. They are dismissed as yet another indication of advanced age. We may also lose valuable, priceless time in that stillness. It's time for solace, connection, and tranquility. I want to guide you through 7 of these potent warning signs today as a doctor who has sat with hundreds of families during these holy times. Instead of instilling dread, my goal is to instill understanding so that we can deal with these changes in a wise manner. I'm not referring to theories found in textbooks. I'm referring to actual life. Let's name him Frank. He was an amazing gentleman. His family assumed he was simply being fussy about what he ate when he started to lose weight out of pure love. At the dinner table, they engaged in a tense battle for months, attempting to persuade him to take one more meal. Months. Later on, they regretted not spending more time together creating peaceful memories. They were unaware that his body was conveying a message unrelated to the food on his plate. We won't just recognize each of these 7 indicators in this video. More significantly, we will discuss how to react with grace and compassion. I'm here to give you the skills you need to transform nervous times into meaningful chances for love. And don't forget to stick with me all the way through. The most commonly misinterpreted indication is the 7th and last one we'll talk about. And when it's most needed, understanding how to react to it can provide the most comfort. What I say now is based on years of experience at the bedsides of patients I have grown to greatly respect, not on a textbook. I genuinely want to know how many of us have experienced this before we start. Whether you can relate to the scenario I just described. Please take a moment to simply say yes in the comment section below if you've ever had that silent, bothersome worry about a change you've noticed. It clarifies things for me and lets people in our community know they're not alone. All right, let's begin. Now let's start with the first red flag. Rapid and inexplicable weight loss is the first warning sign. One of the most obvious indicators is this one. However, it frequently begins with a feeling of relief. When the number on the scale drops, many people I've spoken to, especially those who have battled weight issues for years, think, well, isn't this great? I'm finally losing a few pounds without even trying. They may even receive praise from friends. However, this is not the type of weight loss that results from adopting a new workout regimen or eating healthily. This is not the same. This is the body's silent yet urgent message. From a medical perspective, the body's internal systems are deteriorating. Imagine it as a well-managed factory that starts to slow down its production line after decades of hard effort. The digestive system's ability to break down food and absorb nutrients has diminished. The body makes a significant, silent decision after realizing this. Its priorities start to change, allocating all of the energy's remaining resources into the most vital processes, such as maintaining the heart's beat and the brain's functionality, and shifting it away from gaining muscle and storing fat. This is the reason it becomes so risky, particularly for senior citizens. Our bodies are already more brittle as we get older. There is more to this inexplicable weight loss than merely fat loss. Loss of muscle mass, which is essential for our stability and strength, frequently coexists with it. Sarcopenia is the term for this accelerated ailment. In daily life, you may observe it. Suddenly, a beloved pair of trousers feels baggy around the waist. A once snug blouse now dangles from the shoulders. These are more than merely adjustments to clothing sizes. They are outward signs of a more profound internal transformation. You may experience increasing weariness, a loss of grip strength, or an overall feeling of weakness that wasn't there previously. I recall a beautiful woman named Eleanor who was one of my patients. Her kids were quite concerned. Although she had previously enjoyed her son's food, she would now push the plate away after only a few tiny bits. They made all of her favorite dishes, begged her, and even became a little irritated. As they saw her lose weight, they felt so powerless. They came to a lovely realization when we sat down and spoke. Although their attempts to make her eat were motivated by love, they were upsetting her. Their valuable time together was being overshadowed by the argument over the dinner plate. They changed as a result. They concentrated on enjoyable moments rather than complete meals. They discovered that Eleanor's true desire was the cool, sweet flavor of a small piece of watermelon on a sweltering afternoon rather than a large dish of food. It wasn't a meal, that simple deed. It was a happy moment. Ultimately, that was far more nourishing for her soul. This leads us to the most crucial thing you can do. You have to give up opposing your body's natural processes. Rather, start to respect it. Embrace a focus on comfort and let go of the emphasis on calories and portion sizes. Serve soft meals, a smoothie, a tablespoon of ice cream, or tiny bits of your favorite sweets. The amount of food consumed during these times does not determine how much you love someone. Your kind demeanor, tolerance, and comprehension serve as indicators. Please take a moment to comment below with the word comfort. If you believe that in these delicate situations, comfort should always come before calories. It serves as a potent reminder of what really counts for everyone in our community. Let's now discuss the second warning indicator, which families frequently misinterpret. The second sign is significant and ongoing exhaustion. We've all experienced fatigue, but the kind of depletion I'm referring to here is very different. A cup of coffee or a restful night's sleep won't cure this type of fatigue. It may be misconstrued from the outside. When a loved one sleeps more or participates less, family members may assume he's just being lazy or she's lost her motivation for life. However, this is completely untrue. This is not a decision, but a profound physical state. To put it simply, the body can be compared to an old cell phone battery. It used to be able to be charged once and run continuously. However, that battery simply can no longer maintain a charge after years of use. Even if you leave it plugged in all night, it will run out of power in an hour. That is precisely what is taking place within the body. A person's energy reserves are almost immediately exhausted, regardless of how much time they spend sleeping. This is due to the fact that even the most fundamental functions require the heart, lungs, circulation, and other key systems to work much harder. The body must make a very wise decision in its amazing wisdom. Its extremely limited energy must be rationed. As a result, it devotes all of its remaining strength to the most important tasks. Maintaining brain and heart function. Almost nothing is left over for socializing, talking, or moving. For this reason, even something as basic as moving from the living room to the kitchen can make someone gasp. For this reason, taking part in a family discussion can be as taxing as running a marathon. It's a severe loss of energy rather than a lack of interest. George, one of my patients, was the life of the party. The best stories were told by him, but he became quiet over time. When his grandchildren came to visit, he would simply sit in his chair, grinning a little but not saying anything. His family suffered. They believed he was no longer interested in their life. In actuality, he was very concerned. However, his body could not keep up with the sheer strain of creating sentences and following the conversation. His 16-year-old grandson appeared to comprehend one afternoon. He made no attempt to speak. He simply pulled up a chair, sat silently next to his grandfather, and took his hand. George returned his grandson's hand squeeze after a minute. A tiny, weary smile appeared on his face. That was the discussion. It was everything, and that was the connection. This tale reveals your most potent remedy. You have to give up trying to be active. It doesn't give someone in this condition more energy to get up and move. It only makes you feel uncomfortable, guilty, and frustrated. Your serene presence is the most valuable gift you can give. Sit quietly and comfortably with them. Start giving them the gift of calm by playing some of their favorite old music, watching a classic TV episode together, or just holding their hand. Please share the word presence in the comments section below to validate the effectiveness of this small deed. It serves as a lovely reminder that sometimes the most loving thing we can do is simply be present. This brings us to our third symptom, which is frequently the most terrifying for a family to see. The third sign is discernible respiratory alterations. This symptom frequently results in the most immediate panic out of all the ones we will talk about. A loved one's breathing may suddenly become erratic when the family is sitting by the bedside. Long, unsettling pauses between breaths could be followed by an abrupt, deep gasp. Alternatively, they may hear a gurgling, rattling sound emanating from the throat or chest. It is human nature to assume that someone is in pain, struggling, or suffering. This concern makes sense, but it usually stems from a misperception of what is actually going on. Let's examine this from a medical standpoint. These alterations are a normal aspect of the body's slowing down process. The lungs' ability to exchange carbon dioxide and oxygen decreases when the body conserves energy. Additionally, the muscles in the throat weaken and relax, making it impossible for them to efficiently remove the regular fluids that build up there, such as saliva. This is what produces what is commonly called a death rattle. Although it is a very uncomfortable sound for us to hear, it is important to realize that the person is typically not in pain or suffering. Usually their consciousness is so low that they don't realize it. The body's instinctive, automatic reaction to these internal changes is the labored breathing pattern. It doesn't indicate a battle. Dorothy was a lovely matriarch who was nearing the end of her life, and I worked with her family. One evening, alarmed by the changes in her mother's breathing, her daughter called me in a panic. "Doctor, she's struggling so hard. I can't bear to watch her suffer like this." I gave her the same explanation of the procedure that I am giving you right now. I urged her to concentrate on fostering a calm environment rather than correcting the breathing. That evening, the family dimmed the lights, played Dorothy's favorite classical music in the background, and alternated between sitting by her side and comforting her. They assured her that resting was acceptable and expressed their love for her. The daughter later told me that the vibe in the room changed as soon as they stopped worrying and began fostering harmony. They had never felt closer to their mother. That's your answer. It is your responsibility to offer consolation rather than to step in. Take a deep breath yourself as you sense the panic growing. Keep in mind that the most effective medication in the room is your composed demeanor. Maintain a calm and peaceful atmosphere. A gentle touch on the hand, a soothing voice, or even just the sound of calming music can convey a sense of security and affection. You're not attempting to halt the process. You're attempting to envelop it in tranquilly. Please use the word peace in the comments to commemorate this significant transition from fear to tranquility. It reminds us all that the best consolation we can provide is a peaceful heart. Withdrawal from social interaction is the fourth sign. Because it feels so intimate, this sign can be very challenging. It's possible that a spouse or parent who used to be the focal point of family discussions and was constantly interested in learning about your day has become quiet. When asked a question, they can merely nod or say one word. Family get-togethers, which used to give them a lot of energy, now seem to overwhelm them, and they could request to return to their room. This feels like rejection to the family. When someone you love starts to distance themselves from you, you naturally wonder what went wrong or why they no longer love you. Even before the ultimate loss happens, it can feel like a loss. However, I want to reassure you from a clinical standpoint. Seldom does this disengagement indicate how they feel about you. The amazing natural knowledge of the body is at work once more. The body starts to conserve social and emotional energy in the same way that it does physical energy by slowing down. It takes a tremendous amount of work to follow a discussion, process words, and come up with an answer. As a result, the body starts to naturally reduce the volume of the external environment. It's a method of gently going inward and concentrating all of your remaining energy on the deep interior process that is taking place. On the surface, what appears to be indifference is actually a profound condition of conservation. I recall a man by the name of Michael, whose father was an accomplished conversationalist and a bright lawyer. Michael found himself making a valiant effort to interact with his father as he grew weaker, asking him about sports and politics in the hopes of rekindling the guy he had known. However, Michael would leave each meeting feeling devastated and dejected as his father would only look. He stopped by one day with a book. He just took up a chair at his father's bedside and started reading to himself in silence rather than making an effort to speak. 20 minutes or so later, he felt a light touch on his arm. His father was gently caressing his hand, his eyes hardly open. Although they didn't say anything, Michael claimed that in that quiet moment, he felt closer to his father than he had in months of attempting to push a conversation. That day, he discovered that their relationship had not vanished. It had just switched to a different language. And that's the secret. This new, calmer language is something you must learn to speak. Your answer is to let go of the need for dialogue and instead provide presence as a means of connection. Respect their desire for quiet. Use tender, affectionate gestures in place of your words. More effectively than any words, you can express your love to someone by simply holding their hand, caressing their hair, or simply sitting in the same room. Now is the moment to demonstrate to them that you love them regardless of their ability to communicate and that they are not alone. Please share the word connection in the comments section below if you think that this silent language of love has great power. It serves as a reminder that genuine connection transcends language. We have finally reached the 7th and last sign. I urged you to wait for this one since it can be the most difficult for families to absorb and frequently signifies the most significant change. However, comprehending it can result in the most profound tranquility. The 7th sign is diminished awareness and disengagement. This last phase is a subtle break from the familiar reality. It is possible for someone to start sleeping a lot more than they are awake. When they are awake for the majority of the day and night, they may occasionally appear detached, flitting in and out of the present. Your former conversations can end in quiet and be replaced by a feeble grin or a fleeting glance. Occasionally, amazing things occur. They might speak quietly to others who are not present. Maybe a long-dead sister, a parent, or a spouse. This might be shocking and perplexing for a family. The person you love may seem to be sliding away from you. What we are seeing is not a rejection of the present, but rather a preparation for the next phase of the journey. Your natural reaction might be to try to pull them back, call their name loudly, shake them gently, and say, "Dad, it's me. I'm right here." In order to concentrate on this last holy transition, the body and spirit are releasing the demands of the material world and saving their last remaining energy reserves. I, along with many other hospice nurses and physicians, have come to view this as a calm and natural process. Talking to the deceased is not an indication of bewilderment. Rather, it may be a sign of solace, of meeting and being led by loved ones on the journey ahead. Many people think that hearing is the last sense to deteriorate. Therefore, a person can frequently still hear and sense your presence even when they are not responding. Sitting with the family of a man who was near death is something I will never forget. His daughter was devastated. With tears in her eyes, she replied, "He doesn't even know I'm here anymore." I told her to just chat to him instead of attempting to wake him. I advised her to share with him her best childhood memory of the two of them. She sat close to him, gripped his hand, and whispered to him about how he had taught her how to ride a bicycle in the park, running behind her while gripping the seat and vowing never to let go.
His eyes were never opened. He didn't say anything. However, a solitary tear trickled down his face as she concluded her tale. She had been heard by him. He was aware of her presence. He was also aware of his love. Your most significant and last role is revealed in this tale. It is now your responsibility to allow them to peacefully transition to the next realm rather than to hold them here. Giving a steady, kind assurance of your love is the answer. Keep talking to them quietly. Share tales with them, play their preferred tunes. Above all, take their hand.
In their last moments, that bodily bond serves as an anchor of love. Assure them that they are not by themselves, whispering, "It's okay to go, we will be all right. We love you," is the ultimate gesture of love that embodies the essence of this journey and may be the most unselfish gift of all. Please use the word love in the comments section below to reinforce its significance. It is the start, the finish, and the whole point of it all. We've reached the 6th caution indicator. Similar to breathing changes, this one can be visually frightening if you don't get the subtle and rational process taking place in the background. Changes in skin and circulation are the 6th sign. The hands, feet, knees, and other body parts that are the furthest from the heart are frequently affected by this symptom. The skin may appear mottled purple or bluish, sometimes resembling a subtle web-like structure beneath the surface. Even in a room that is comfortably warm, their hands or feet may feel startlingly cool to the touch. When a family member notices these changes, they may become frightened right away. Warm, healthy-colored skin is considered a symbol of vitality and life in our society. Therefore, it may be assumed that the person is in pain, that they are cold and suffering, or even that it is an indication of inadequate care. However, let's examine the lovely and clever process that the body is going through. Once again, the circulatory system is choosing how to use its limited resources with compassion and wisdom. The body starts to reroute blood flow away from the arms and legs and towards the core, where it is most needed to support the brain, heart, and lungs, while the heart beats with less force. It's a clever self-preservation system. The skin's mottled appearance and coolness are merely the external manifestations of this internal rerouting. It is crucial to understand that this procedure is not unpleasant. Since the person's internal body temperature is maintained, they are usually unaware that they are experiencing cold. I remember a family taking care of their aging mother at home. Her son was quite upset about how cold her feet felt, and he continued to touch them aggressively in an attempt to restore circulation. He had good intentions, but his aggressive rubbing was really causing bruising and discomfort because the skin also gets very thin and delicate at this period. After our conversation, I proposed a far more delicate strategy. Their objective shifted from attempting to improve circulation to merely offering a feeling of comfort and safety. They located her favorite cozy wool blanket and covered her legs with it. They put on some cozy, warm socks. Instead of rubbing her arm vigorously, their touch softened and became a resting hand. These small actions had no effect on the skin's look, but they completely altered the atmosphere, enveloping her in a warm, protecting feeling. This gives us a straightforward solution. Your objective is to cooperate with this natural process rather than to oppose it. Gives basic warmth from the outside. A cozy pair of socks, a light quilt, or a soft blanket can make all the difference. Though it should be gentle and cautious, your touch is still very vital. A small brush on the back, a gentle touch on the arm. These actions show affection without endangering the sensitive skin. You are building a safe and cozy cocoon. Please use the term warmth in the comment section below to honor this small but effective act of consolation. It is a lovely representation of the tender care that any of us may offer. We have finally reached the 7th and last sign. I urged you to wait for this one since it can be the most difficult for families to absorb and frequently signifies the most significant change. However, comprehending it can result in the most profound tranquility.
The seventh sign is diminished awareness and disengagement. This last phase is a subtle break from the familiar reality. A person may start sleeping a lot more than they are awake, sometimes for the most of the day and night. They may appear detached when they are awake, flitting in and out of the here and now.
Your former conversations can end in quiet and be replaced by a feeble grin or a fleeting glance. Occasionally, amazing things occur. They might speak quietly to others who are not present, maybe a long-dead sister, a parent, or a spouse. This might be shocking and perplexing for a family. The person you love may seem to be sliding away from you. What we are seeing is not a rejection of the present, but rather a preparation for the next phase of the journey. Your natural reaction might be to try to pull them back, call their name loudly, shake them gently and say, "Dad, it's me. I'm right here." In order to concentrate on this last holy transition, the body and spirit are releasing the demands of the material world and saving their last remaining energy reserves. I, along with many other hospice nurses and physicians, have come to view this as a calm and natural process. Talking to the deceased is not an indication of bewilderment. Rather, it may be a sign of solace, of meeting and being led by loved ones on the journey ahead. Many people think that hearing is the last sense to deteriorate. Therefore, a person can frequently still hear and sense your presence even when they are not responding. I will always remember sitting with the family of a dying man. His daughter was devastated. With tears in her eyes, she replied, "He doesn't even know I'm here anymore." I told her to just chat to him instead of attempting to wake him. I advised her to share with him her best childhood memory of the two of them. She sat close to him, gripped his hand, and whispered to him about how he had taught her how to ride a bicycle in the park, running behind her while gripping the seat and vowing never to let go. His eyes were never opened. He didn't say anything. However, a solitary tear trickled down his face as she concluded her tale. She had been heard by him. He was aware of her presence. He was also aware of his love. Your most significant and last role is revealed in this tale. It is now your responsibility to allow them to peacefully transition to the next realm rather than to hold them here. Giving a steady, kind assurance of your love is the answer. Keep talking to them quietly. Share tales with them. Play their preferred tunes. Above all, take their hand. Love is anchored by that physical connection. Let them know they are not alone in their last moments. Whispering, "It's okay to go. We will be all right. We love you," is the ultimate gesture of love that embodies the essence of this journey and may be the most unselfish gift of all. Please use the word love in the comments section below to reinforce its significance. It is the start, the finish, and the whole point of it all. We have finally reached the seventh and last sign. This is the one I advised you to hold off on since it frequently signifies the most significant change and can be the most difficult for families to accept, but realizing it can provide the greatest sense of calm. The seventh sign is diminished awareness and disengagement. This last phase is a subtle break from the familiar reality. It is possible for someone to start sleeping a lot more than they are awake. When they are awake for the majority of the day and night, they can occasionally appear detached, flitting in and out of the present. Your former conversations can end in quiet and be replaced by a feeble grin or a fleeting glance. Occasionally, amazing things occur. They might speak quietly to others who are not present, maybe a long-dead sister, a parent, or a spouse. This might be shocking and perplexing for a family. The person you love may seem to be sliding away from you. What we are seeing is not a rejection of the present, but rather a preparation for the next phase of the journey. Your natural reaction might be to try to pull them back, call their name loudly, shake them gently, and say, "Dad, it's me. I'm right here." In order to concentrate on this last holy transition, the body and spirit are releasing the demands of the material world and saving their last remaining energy reserves. I, along with many other hospice nurses and physicians, have come to view this as a calm and natural process. Talking to the deceased is not an indication of bewilderment. Rather, it may be a sign of solace, of meeting and being led by loved ones on the journey ahead. Many people think that hearing is the last sense to deteriorate. Therefore, a person can frequently still hear and sense your presence even when they are not responding. I will always remember sitting with the family of a dying man. His daughter was devastated. "He doesn't even know I'm here anymore," she stated while shedding tears. I told her to just chat to him instead of attempting to wake him. I advised her to share with him her best childhood memory of the two of them. She sat close to him, gripped his hand, and whispered to him about how he had taught her how to ride a bicycle in the park, running behind her while gripping the seat and vowing never to let go. His eyes were never opened. He didn't say anything, but one tear trickled down his cheek as she concluded her tale. She had been heard by him. He was aware of her presence and his devotion. Your most significant and last role is revealed in this tale.
It is now your responsibility to allow them to peacefully transition to the next realm rather than to hold them here. Giving a steady, kind assurance of your love is the answer. Keep talking to them quietly, play their favorite music, tell them stories, and, above all, hold their hand. In their last moments, that bodily bond serves as an anchor of love. Assure them that they are not by themselves. Whispering is possibly the most selfless gift of all. Going is acceptable. We'll be okay. You are loved by us. The ultimate manifestation of what this journey is all about is this last act of love. Please use the word love in the comments section below to reinforce its significance. It is the start, the finish, and the whole point of it all. I want you to remember the story we started with as our time together draws to a close. The tale of Frank and his devoted family. They were embroiled in an agonizing dispute at the dinner table for months, one that sprung from ignorance and fear. However, everything changed once they realized what Frank's body was actually saying them. The altercation over food ceased. Rather, they started providing him with basic amenities during his last days. They would watch his favorite old black and white films while they sat silently with him. He enjoyed the little sips of sweet tea they served him. Their home was filled with a deep sense of tranquility instead of the pressure. Instead of fighting, his last days were characterized by connection. All of this has a simple but profound lesson that has the power to alter everything. Fear is transformed into calm by understanding. It enables us to focus on what really matters in the end and let go of the fight against the body's natural path. Love that is felt rather than just said, comfort, and dignity. Now keep in mind that I'm sharing these thoughts with you as a mentor and friend. If you have any specific health concerns, you should always, and I mean always, consult a hospice specialist or your own trusted physician. After everything we have discussed today, I have one last, crucial question for you. What one modest act of consolation are you going to do this week? It doesn't need to be a big gesture. It may be as easy as bringing my mum a little dish of her favorite ice cream, or just sitting quietly with my hubby. In the comment section below, please express your personal commitment. You make it real by putting it in paper, and you encourage everyone in this community to follow suit. Please show your support by liking this video if our talk today has given you some insight or a little tranquility. Please click the subscribe button to ensure you don't miss any of our upcoming discussions. You're doing more than just signing up for a channel. You are becoming a part of a friendly group of individuals committed to gracefully and wisely navigating these golden years. Lastly, I would like you to consider a single individual who might be bearing the burden of these concerns by themselves. Please show them this video as well. It might be the consolation they need to hear right now. Keep this in mind as you proceed. Every day, no matter how difficult, offers the chance for a modest smile, a shared stillness, a delicate touch, or a moment of grace. I hope the days ahead bring you warmth, love, and tranquility.